Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And I had an issue with trying to get this started because every time I would try to load the thumbnail, the app would just completely back out. So I'm going with no thumbnail, no title. I will add that in later on after the stream closes. I also checked to see if I needed to update the app, but it does not need updating, so I'm not sure what the deal is. Maybe it's just an internal thing, but anyway, the thumbnail shows the other Ukrainian menu 3 that I had sent to Mike Kreischer. I just kept that picture because it's a cleaner one, and this one is the one that I had opened for when I did the mail call when I received these two. Plus I did a spread in a Ration group on Facebook, and I just kept it taped closed. Plus there was some slight damage on the side of the bag here where I had another additional piece of tape. I wanted to inspect everything just to make sure everything is fine, so I'm going to go ahead and rip all this tape off of here. And because this is a 24-hour ration, although the breakfast seems skimpy, so I'm only going to get 2 streams out of this. I'm going to go ahead and pull everything out of the bag. Here we have a pack of tissues. This ration was packed in Poland, but some of these items have Pomipsa components from Spain. Some might have something from elsewhere. So this one even has Arabic on it. So that is a pack of tissues. Anything that I'm obviously not going to use, I'll set that off to the side. Here is a wet wipe. Here is an accessory pack that has water purification tablets, matches, and a folding Esprit style stove that is similar to the Spanish and French rations, but with the solid fuel tabs. So another wet wipe. Again, these have languages because of the source of the item. Cocoa powder. This is whitener for drinks like coffee or tea. A big packet for a small amount. And here's another one. I will only need one of those. Here is cutlery set, knife, fork, and spoon. And I won't be using those. I'll be using my Marie spork. Sweet biscuits. Big pack of them. It's crackers or salty biscuits. You can see the difference in color. There's this second pack of these. I'm going to set them off to the side as well. Two coffees. So one, and the whitener will go into delicious mug. I've chosen that one because, this ration was packed in Poland. Flameless ration heater with a super thick pad. Actually, there's two of them. But the one pad seems to be a little thicker than the other. Then I won't be using those. A cheat sheet. There's a third coffee. Peanut cream, aka peanut butter. That's a huge pack of it. US Marie Packers, take a hint. Another coffee creamer. Chile con carne. And these are gusseted pouches. Very nice. So if you have to eat this without the benefit of a mess kit or a tray, that one of those will go in. One of these entrees will go into the pot. Apple paste. This is very similar to what is in Spanish rations. There's a second apple paste. There's a cereal bar. Peach marmalade. That's the first time I've seen something like that in a ration. Here is the other entree. This is chicken pasta bolognese. Again, gusseted pouch. Put that one over there. And much like some other foreign rations, the Polish ration, you get a toothbrush that's similar to this. The bag did not say if the bristles were impregnated with toothpaste. This looks like just a straight up plain toothbrush. The only item that I will not eat in this ration, this is a pork liver pate and a good sized can of it. And a few more small items left in the bag. We have another peach marmalade. That's sugar, one for the delicious mug. Second sugar. Another wet wipe. 2 sets of salt and pepper. And a third sugar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put back in the items that I'm not going to use At least not tonight. Just so I can get them out of the way. And because I will get a second stream out of this ration, I will simply use another bag for trash. Just readjusting my table here just to make sure that have it in frame. See, we got Emphos here, spicy tuna rolls. The Ready Mind Official, thanks for dropping in. Hadn't seen your name before. Welcome. And that's it for the comments so far. This one did not have any cold drink options. So what I'm going to do is this French drink that was sent to me in a previous box by another YouTuber, it had clumped up, so I had spent quite a bit of time, a few different times, just working it loose, so it will be easier to mix. So that will be my cold drink, and I will do that again next week. Tea mango, I actually like this. Some people don't, but I like it. Time to get a look at this coffee. Just to make things go a little quicker, I'm just going to keep using my little cheater. Average Joe True North in the house. Tim Riley's here. This is a spray dried coffee. That is the sugar that is in there. Coffee creamer looks and smells decent enough, so I'm going with it. These types of drinks, they say use 500 mils or half a liter of water, which is a few ounces over, a pint. But I tend to mix these a bit strong. My drinking jar, I can max out at 13 ounces, so I'm kind of pushing it. And I will stop it there. So now what I'm going to do, it'll either be this chile con carne or this chicken pasta bolognese. Oops. These are 400-gram entrees. So yeah, this will be a fair amount of food. And burger butt in the house. This is a Ukrainian ration menu 3, packed in Poland, but with components from various other sources. So I think I am feeling the chile con carne tonight. So I'm going to put that pasta bolognese back over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this in the pot, start that heating up. And Frenchie Sandy in the house. After I get this in the pot, then I will bring back my kettle to put the water and the coffee. them back. I hope you enjoyed the few pictures and a couple of short clips I shot at the lake while I was there. The lake won. I got skunked, and a few of those who did catch fish and had them on stringers, they got robbed because turtles got them. So we only managed to keep 2 catfish. So my oldest sister cut them into small pieces and then deep fried them. So we each got at least 1 bite. A few people got a second bite. Well, that's interesting. Do they look anything like this? Or maybe like these? $125-gram pack for the savory ones. Same for the sweet ones. They're a little darker in color. So I think they would lend well to probably the marmalade. This apple paste is rather thick, not really spreadable. Put that cocoa powder back into the ration bag. I may drink that one next week. This peanut butter is 32 grams, so that is a lot of peanut butter. So that is probably about this 28 grams is an ounce. This is 32, so it's probably not, maybe 1.25 ounces. So what I may do, I may get a couple of sandwich bags. That way I can preserve half of these sweet biscuits for next week. We'll see how these savory ones go. I think I'll save this cereal bar for next week. So I toss that back into the bag. These actually smell good. So I'm just taking half of that pack out, and I'm just going to put the others aside. And I'm going to do the same with these sweet ones. This packaging is a lot better quality than, it's a lot thicker than, but still easy to open. These almost smell like graham crackers. That one broke, but that's okay. A couple of them broke. And I will set that aside. Since I have 2 of these peach marmalades and 2 of the apple paste, I'll decide next week if I want to repeat those. Looks like I'm going to have to get a little drastic with this thing. This one did not want to open at all, so that is the peach marmalade. I think that'll be easy enough to spread onto the crackers. I'm hoping this apple paste will be a lot easier to open up. Nope, it's going to do the same thing. So that is the apple paste. Couldn't get quite all of it off, but I'll clean that blade off later. I'm going to give my drink another mix because it hasn't all dissolved yet. When I looked at the bag, it really didn't indicate much for breakfast. So while that's all ready to go, I'm gonna go get my chili con carne, and I'll be right back. I am back. I have a paper towel to dry it, and I use this. It's just a dome lid from my regular cookware that I have here. I'm drying it off so it'll be easier to handle. See how this tear notch goes. Well, that one didn't want to cooperate. There we go, this one did. Sort of. This has rice in it. It kind of reminds me of how the Lithuanian entrees were packaged, where part of the food is somewhat separated. And you basically have to mix it together. Smells good. See the rice, there's beans with the beef in the sauce. So it's a different take on the chile con carne. So there it is, all mixed up. Ooh, ouch. Sorry, Frenchy Sandy. My condolences to the family. cancer sucks. Yeah, 2 in-laws died earlier this year from it, so different kinds of cancers. Might be either tomato or bell pepper in there. I'm kind of leaning toward bell pepper. It's definitely got the cumin and some kind of chili seasoning. But it's not bad. The rice is very soft. The beans are very soft, but at least they're still holding their shape. And the bits of beef may be very, very small. It's like ground beef that's in there. But this chili's not bad. I'm pleasantly surprised. I put a piece of the sweet biscuit in the marmalade, but I'm going to take a bite of another piece. It's not as sweet as a graham cracker, but it does have that graham cracker flavor. It's not too bad. Of course, if I were in the field, I would be using the knife to spread that marmalade on here, but it's like a peach jelly. But it's not bad. Now this apple paste, so I'm literally poking. I got a little bit of it on there. But this is typical of the Pomipsa apple paste. It tastes like apple butter, but thicker. But these biscuits can be dipped in it. This chili con carne, it's not bad. There is waffles in the house. Now this This actually tastes better than my expectations. I guess maybe I could have expected this considering where some of these components come from. It's got the right amount of kick to it. I think they could have put some isotonic drink powders in there. Give the soldier in the field a little bit of flavor and maybe a little bit of extra nutrition than just drinking water, especially if they've had to use the water purification tablets. And I think they're aqua tabs. Yep, that is exactly what they are. These are aqua tabs. So the company probably just bought a pallet full of these. To put in these rations. Prepper for the Ages is here. Thanks for dropping in. This is kind of a multi-sourced pack. This is Ukrainian 24-hour ration, menu 3, by way of Poland and Pomipsa in Spain. This particular bag had a bit of bag damage somehow. So I decided to open it up when I did the mail call. When I originally got this one and an identical one, the bag had not been poked in any way. I sent that one to Mike Kresher. We did a trade. And so he got the bag that was not poked. So I wanted to open it up and inspect the contents, make sure nothing inside was damaged, which was good. Everything was fine with it. And then I just did a component spread in a ration group I'm in on Facebook. I'm going to give this, that's a nice solid break. These have a slight bit of salt flavor to them. Kind of like the Russian crackers, but bigger. They actually have more flavor than a USMRE cracker. I'm going to put a bit of the chili con carne on that bite. These are fairly thick, so if you wanted to crumble them up in here, you'd still end up with pretty big pieces, or you'd have to take a lot of time to crumble them up smaller. Or you could just simply dip. I've never heard of a pierogi dessert. What kind of a filling would that be? I might actually have to look that up. That intrigues me. Do another dip of that. Yeah, that coffee is decent. But next week I'm going to have the cocoa mix. So I will save the other two coffees, creamers, and sugars for later use. Ooh, that sounds good. We are having an International Food Day later on this year at my mosque. I don't know the date of it yet. That will be coming up after our back to school party, where we will be handing out school supplies to kids, plus having food. I don't know all the details of that yet, but that will be coming up fairly soon. And then on the 29th of this month, I will work a booth at a charity event, and we will be doing similar to what the White Eagle Multicultural Powwow Committee did for the Des Moines Art Festival. It'll just be a few hours on that Saturday as opposed to 3 days. But we will be pretty much doing the same thing, but we don't have as many rules on what we can do and how we can do it. But we will still have the TP kits and info cards that we'll be handing out. So those patterns are being printed right now, or soon will be, because the guy who's doing it, he just downloaded the pattern and is just printing them out on cardstock. There's a bit of the apple paste on cracker. You can get a little bit more of a sense of the color of it. It does not take away from the flavor of the apple paste. But I gotta go back for more of this. I'm looking for some very simple recipe ideas I can do for the International Food Fair at the mosque, and I looked at a potato with dill recipe, but I would have to do it there. Yeah, I want to do something different every time. Maybe these sweet biscuits were probably meant to be breakfast with one of these marmalades and apple paste, but you got two of each. And of course the cereal bar, but I'm going to save that for next week. But I do like dipping or putting some of this on these crackers. It makes for a pretty good bite. I'm not sure if I want to save this peanut butter for next week, or do I want to use some of it tonight and save the rest for next week? Thanks for dropping in, Waffles. Hope to see you another time. Yeah, this peanut butter is definitely home ipsa. Probably might not be able to see that, but because of the Arabic on here, I think they have done some stuff for Middle Eastern rations. Let's see this. And the entrees are also done by Home Ipsa. So as far as at least this one goes, the chili con carne, I think they have stepped up their flavor game with that one. I'm looking forward to that chicken pasta bolognese. I think that's going to be a good one too. Oh, what the heck. I'm going to go ahead and cut off a corner of the peanut butter packet. And I'm going to go ahead and put some of it on a full biscuit. This is a bit runny. I did knead it a little bit. That is just straight up peanut. Prep for it is here. Just put the corner of that peanut butter packet in my Walgreens bag, which is serving as my trash bag. Again, I apologize for the lack of a title and a thumbnail. When I was trying to put in the thumbnail, the YouTube app decided to just keep wanting to crap out. So then I restarted my phone, but because I didn't want to take a chance of it just crapping out by trying to load a thumbnail, I'm just going to, I decided to just go with the date, title, no thumbnail, and I will add those later when I edit the other attributes, like saying if it's got AI use or if it's got paid promotion or any of that sort, which obviously I don't have. So I had a bit of a late start because I was dealing with that hassle. I also checked to see if the YouTube app needed updating, but it had recently been updated and there was no new update available for it, so it could have been just a system burp. I don't know if anyone else has had that issue with setting up a thumbnail for a live stream, but I'll figure that all out later. Since I put this piece of cracker in the chili, I'm just going to go ahead and scoop up some. What I'll do with this peanut butter, I'll use part of this and then I'll squeeze all the peanut butter down and then I'll just roll the top over a couple of times and put a clip on it. That way it'll stay good for next time. And then because I have only taken half of these and half of these, I'll put these in a Ziploc bag to keep them fresh. Plus I still have another pack. So I will save those for another time if I need some biscuits for another ration, or I'm doing a ration mashup, or if I just want to have them as a snack. But I'm actually quite surprised with these. I do enjoy the Homipsa apple paste. It's right up there with the Russian apple butters. Just a good bit thicker. Yeah, no cold drink, so I have the French mango tea. I happen to like that flavor. Some people don't, but I do. I may like weird things, but it is what it is. But I'm quite surprised with some of the things in this ration. And because this is really darn good, I have high hopes for this pasta bolognese with chicken next week. And this is comfort food. Because the Ukrainian military is so active, and they have been recruiting additional people to join the fight for their country, that they have had to look for additional sources beyond their internal ration production. So Poland, the ration packer that did this in Poland, which is not our Poland, it is another one. They teamed up with Homipsa out of Spain to get a majority of the components for these rations. I don't know how many menus there are. This one just happened to be menu 3. I look forward to seeing Mike Kreischer's take on it, since he has the other one. I should search for this ration but other menus to see what others have gotten in it and what they thought of it. Yeah, you get these, it's the MX3 mixed drink. You'll get those in French rations. So MX3 does make pretty good stuff. Their mueslis are good. I do like their isotonic drink mixes, the few that I've had. Some of their other components, I haven't had too many of them, but I actually do like them. When I get a French ration that would have it in there, I generally don't do breakfast meals on camera. Some do, but I just don't. I save those for when I do need a breakfast, or that muesli that was in that Dutch ration I had earlier. I use that one for one of my breakfast meals during Ramadan. And I happen to have a small Spanish muesli, which is about the size of this peanut butter packet. And I combined those two. Plus I had those banana chips, I think from a German ration. I put all those three things together, and that made for one hearty breakfast during pre-dawn hours when I ate before first light. In the past, when I've gone camping with friends, sometimes I packed a couple of these mueslis or porridges just in case I had to do my own breakfast as opposed to sharing food with the others in the group, or to supplement that. So I would often save those mueslis and porridges for those trips. I haven't done any of those camps lately, but in case I do get another opportunity to do that, I have those available. And the ration that I traded my Ukrainian menu 3 that I got from Mike is another one of those behemoth bags. It will have a muesli in it and or a porridge. So when I do get to that one, I will simply pull that one and set it aside. Of course, with Ramadan starting 10 days earlier every year because it follows the lunar cycle, it will be pretty much all of February, maybe a day in March. I may use that muesli or porridge then. Enjoy, Sandy. Thanks for dropping in. And of course, the day we got home, this past Thursday from camp, was my brother's birthday. So I was the first to post a birthday wish for my brother. He could not come because of his work schedule. And it's a good thing he stayed home because he dealt with a minor electrical issue. And he was trying to get a computer working. The electrical issue, that was an easy do for him to solve. The computer issue, not so much. Plus, he was able to recover a package for one of my sisters, so it wouldn't fall victim to a porch pirate. Plus, there was a power outage on the south side of Des Moines. One person in our travel group did have a minor power outage, so it wasn't too bad, but it was a overload fault of some kind. There was no storm that day. It was just so hot during that time that it got up to an actual temperature on the hottest day of our trip, like 102 actual temperature here in Des Moines. That's 102 Fahrenheit, at least 40 Celsius. So the power grid in that part of town, not the entire south side of Des Moines, but several blocks of it were affected, and his home happened to be one of those affected. But my sisters, who share a house, my other sister, who lost her husband earlier this year, and my mom's apartment, they all did not lose power. I don't live on the south side, so I was not affected. So that was a good thing, but it was definitely an inconvenience for those people who did not have air conditioning for that time, and they had to either go to a cooling center or go hang out at a friend's or relative's house that did have air conditioning so they could keep cool. Yep, that's the way to be, and that's why I have my power stations all charged up. Plus I have power banks, and one that recently failed, it would not take a charge anymore, so I have already got its replacement. It's the higher capacity one. And I took 2 power banks with me to camp, but I had an issue with, I'm not sure if it's the cord I'm using, if that one's starting to go, I need to switch. I have so many USB cords, it's nuts. But I also took the wall warts, a few of those, in case someone needed one. But one of my sisters has one with 2 ports in it, so that's good. But I took them, plus the headlamp thing is catching on because My niece had one. Her boyfriend came for a night, and he had his. And my great niece and her friend who came with, they both had headlamps. And my younger nephew, he has one. Plus I had mine, so we didn't have to worry about night lighting. Des Moines. Tim and I are both in Des Moines. There's another YouTuber who, I think he lives in Minnesota, but he went, I didn't watch the video, I'll have to watch it later, but he went to Lake Anita here in Iowa. I haven't been there since I was a little kid. And my cat just walked past. And she's meowing. She's just out of camera view on my left. But she's just walking back and forth under my chair and meowing. I don't know if my talking has disturbed her cat nap or what. That Pepper for the Ages, is that Polk County here in Iowa or in a different state? Because I have not checked local news lately, but I have not personally received any power outage alerts here. But my mom and my siblings and I are signed up for a text blast about power outages. So if there's an outage in my particular area that Mid-America knows about, they will send a text blast to everybody in the affected area. Now, because my mom and my sisters did not get it when the power was out on the south side here during our trip, we know that it was not in their areas. So because I'm streaming on the phone that I get those alerts on, I won't see it unless I kill the stream to look at it, and I'm not going to do that. But the past few days, the weather has actually been pretty nice. Dwayne was a bit frisky today when I took the cat crap out, but it wasn't too bad. We're supposed to have 90s one day, like late next week, maybe in the weekend. But the wind must have died down since Tim is saying that it's still. The humidity is jacked up. I'm going to try a bit of this peanut butter on and this is more like almost like peanut sauce, but this is rather dry. It is a bit thirst provoking. But it is pretty much straight up peanut, no additional oil beside the natural oil in the peanuts. There is no added salt. I'm looking at the nutritional information on the back of the packet. Just roasted peanuts, although it does say it may contain traces of tree nuts and sesame, but that would be because this is processed on the same equipment that handles tree nuts and sesame. But it's just straight up peanut. And you won't get that from an American Ration. You will get peanut butter that has other stuff in it. Gonna have another drink of this coffee. What you saying down there, Pumpkin? What you saying, Pumpkin? Sometimes she wants attention, but on her terms, you know. You know how it is with a cat. She doesn't always make an appearance during my reviews. Sometimes she'll sleep through the whole thing. Broke up another one of the sweet biscuits and I put in a bit in this marmalade. So this marmalade and this apple paste are probably the closest thing to a dessert you're going to get out of this ration. And the cereal bar could have been a breakfast component, although on the bag it was listed with the snacks. It listed the salt and pepper, the coffee, the coffee creamer, and the sugar. Along with the snacks, probably just for printing efficiency on that side of the bag. Because the bag was printed in Polish, English, and Ukrainian. And some of these items have Arabic on them. And not quite as much of a variety of side items as you find in some rations, but for the soldier in the field, you want those things that will give you the fuel that you need to carry out the mission, but yet still taste good. And this is definitely that. This pouch does not have a second tear notch like some might have. And because the utensils are kind of short, I pulled them back out again. Yeah, to get the very bottom, you would be putting this all the way down into the pouch to get at what's left in the bottom. So that might make it a little difficult to eat, but this knife style is definitely similar to other Polish plastic knives I've had in some of their rations. It's just it's a cream color instead of the bright white. Kind of see the difference compared to the white of my mug. But these will definitely be added to my plastic utensil supply. I just thought I would check that because I didn't look when I was opening the chile con carne pouch. A little bit of marmalade with a little bit of peanut butter. That combo actually works. Doesn't make it quite so thirst-provoking, but I'm still very happy with that peanut butter because it's clean. Those isotonic, those electrolyte drink powders that I got last month that I showed in my shopping haul, and then I did a short of the Body Armor, the 3 flavors. I took all 3 of those flavors, plus I took the liquid IV that I found on a discount shelf. That was half off the original price. Probably, the box had a little bit of cosmetic damage, but nevertheless, I took those drink powders out of their boxes, at least the Body Armor ones. I had already put the liquid IV drink sticks in a Ziploc bag, and then I just put the other 3 flavors of the Body Armor ones in that same bag, and I told the others, if you need some electrolyte, I got them. My oldest sister likes the white peach liquid IV. I think a couple of them might have tried some of the other ones. I tried the strawberry kiwi and the fruit punch. I did not try the grape. But that might be my cold drink mix for next Sunday. I'm seriously thinking about doing that because I have not had the grape Body Armor yet. When I bought those, they did not have the lemon lime, which I also like. But I have some of that in my stash, but I just have those stashed away for longer term storage. But yeah, I might try the grape Body Armor electrolyte drink powder next Sunday just to see what it tastes like. And I took 2 bottles of a ready-made one called Unwell. I drank the peach tangerine one, which is really good. I still have the other one. I'd have to go get it to look at the flavor, but it's not the lemonade one that I've had previously. I drank that one when I was at the art festival back in June 30th, when it was really hot and sticky that day. And I had mixed up a couple other actually my last 2 lemon lime body armors that I had in my blue purse, which I carry sometimes. It's smaller than a black bag I carry on the daily when I'm going out. But I like to keep some drink powders in both of them. So I mixed up the 2 lemonade ones, or lemon lime ones. Yeah, it was lemon lime, not lemonade. But I had a lemonade stick drink mix from an MRE. It's a sugar-free one. I added half of that packet to each of the bottles that I mixed the body armor powder in, just to give it a little extra flavor. So I drank both of those, and then part of that Unwell drink, and then the rest of it I drank while I was waiting for the bus after the art festival ended, and we had taken our booth down and packed away, and everybody went their separate ways. And because of the Sunday bus schedule, I just caught the last bus leaving that area to go back to the Dart bus station. So that was good timing. I waited a few minutes, but not all that long, so. I told you in a previous stream how successful that was. And we're hoping to repeat that success on a smaller scale because of the shorter amount of time at this charity event later this month. And at camp, I was, my great niece and her friend brought art supplies, and so they were drawing and painting in between fishing sessions. And so I invited my great niece to be a volunteer with me and my crafting partner at the White Eagle Powwow. So she was very interested. I tried to invite her last year, but her schedule wouldn't allow it, so I'm hoping that I gave her enough notice. She's very interested, and her friend is even interested. They both go to the same school. And my great niece is a cheerleader, and her friend is in the band. She plays several percussion instruments. So the friend was also very interested, and I told him that if you are accumulating service hours, like for a certain honor cord in high school, you get to wear during graduation. If you need service hours for that, or if a scout needs service hours, we tell them that we will sign their papers, or if they do it electronically, we can accommodate that. And because both of them do like to create, I thought being in the craft area with me and my main crafting partner, it might be a good fit for them. And as a volunteer, they would get food from the volunteer and performer kitchen, or if we go ahead and do tickets for the food trucks, they can get a ticket for a meal at one of the food trucks. Breakfast is always provided. We get pancake mix that's ready made. All you have to do is just stir it and then ladle it out onto the big Blackstone. At the 4 cooking section model, that's the biggest Blackstone model that is currently available. And so the guy who owns it brings that, and he cooks on that. So he will do the breakfast. Some go there Thursday for final setup. And some may spend the night there if they camp, or they just drive there and get there early enough. They may get some breakfast Friday morning. But Friday afternoon, everything is pretty much set up. And there's storytelling. And last year we had a movie showing, but that was kind of a fizzle because there were issues with the projector. And the kids who were camping there, they were just falling asleep. So the woman who was running it just shut it down. Yeah, we provide food for the volunteers, the performers, and the craft vendors. We have a variety of craft vendors, and we're including some nonprofits that may not have something to sell, but they can accept donations for their organization, plus the food trucks. And then all the volunteers plus the committee members. We have access to that kitchen. There'll be a supply of water, there's sodas, there may be chips for a snack. So when we have our next meeting, not tomorrow but the Monday after, we will finish planning all that out. We're gathering craft supplies. Last year I got a hold of a whole mess of wood cookies, some different species of tree. We still have quite a number of those left, plus we're gonna have the teepee kits, since those are easy to print out. The 4 crayon packs were just ordered in bulk from a supplier. I'm not sure if it's Amazon, but he got these 4 crayon packs in bulk and just put one of those in the bag with every teepee pattern and an info card about the powwow. So put that in a gallon Ziploc bag, and at the art festival we would tell the adults that if you didn't have a bag from another booth you visited, you have a bag now you can put some small items in. And they definitely took advantage of that. Gotta have some more of this apple paste. So I will be on the hunt for I may not try to buy as much myself since we have a lot of those wood cookies, but I may buy some markers and crayons. I contributed rolls of this type of tape. I usually take containers of the disinfecting wipes and maybe paper towels. So I will probably do that again, because we go through a lot of those at the craft table, especially with the paints. And we are hoping to have more teepees set up. We had an issue with one of them last year, the one with the handprints. A squirrel got into the storage container somehow and messed that one up pretty bad. I don't know, it might have been more than one squirrel, but squirrels are definitely in there. So that has to be repaired. Some of the teepees need new poles, so we're in the process of getting that. And we need to upgrade our sound system. The past few years we've been having issues with the wiring between the soundboard and the speakers. And of course we have to fundraise for all of that. And because we are a legit 501c3, we have applied for grants. And because we participated in the art festival in the nonprofit area, the art festival gave us a small grant, or at least a payment, that goes towards our general fund, which is the only thing we have. We just earmark during our meetings what things to pay for. But so we got that in the bank, so we can pay certain expenses for items that we cannot get donated, or for a service such as our web host. We paid the registration fee for the park, for the powwow, and the park gives us a cut rate on that, which is very nice of them. So that will be on my mind as we get ready for it. Mike Crusher in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'm looking forward to your take on this beast. The chili con carne is definitely a winner. As you can tell, I don't have too much of it left. But the coffee with the creamer and sugar, it's decent. I was very surprised about both the sweet biscuits, which are somewhat like graham cracker flavor, and these, the peanut butter is a bit runny, but it's just straight up peanut. That's all it is. This is the salty. There's a top side. That's the bottom side. Thick as a Russian cracker, but a little bit bigger. This is these Homipsa containers for the peach marmalade and the apple paste. Very hard to open. I literally had to cut them. But this peach marmalade, I got 2 of each of these. So I'm holding this back so you can get a look at them. No cold drink in this one, but I got the French mango tea in the old drinking jar. And this is the one that felt like it was all clumped up, so I just kept working it, breaking up the powder, so it wasn't so clumpy when I poured it in to mix it. Because I have the chili con carne tonight. Next Sunday, will be this chicken pasta bolognese. $400 grams in each of these gusseted pouches. Because this chili con carne was really good. I'm looking forward to that one. I love the amount of cumin in this. The rice and the beans are pretty soft. The beef in there is ground beef, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Usually put ground beef in chili anyway. But the flavor, I'm happy with it. I was a bit surprised at the rice in it, but I'm okay with it. I entered a chili contest years ago, and I made a turkey chili, and I put rice in it. No, wait, I made a vegetarian chili because I wanted people attending that to have a vegetarian option if they didn't eat meat or didn't eat the particular meats that might have been used. But that one, I was the lowest on the scale on that, but I didn't care. I still had fun. Now the 2 ration heaters will get added to my collection The tissue pack and the wet wipes will get added to my collection. The cutlery set will get added to my collection. All the stuff in the stove kit bag will get added to my collection. I put 4 Aqua Tab water purification tablets in there. So it's good to have a supply of those, and those will just be added to my supply. And it's good to get fresh ones now and then to replace those that have gone past their expiration date. Although I have not actually had to use any of my water purification tablets since I started collecting them, but I still want to have them on hand just in case I do have to do that should something happen to the water here in my city. Pumpkin is to my left again. What you want, Pumpkin? I can't move this much more. Oh, she walked away. She does that. I'll just put it back. I just saw her tail. What's on your little kitty mind, Pumpkin? What's on your little kitty mind, Pumpkin? Yeah, she sometimes makes an appearance, sometimes not. She's rubbing on the table leg. What you want, Pumpkin? Nope, I don't have anything for the kitty. I don't have anything for the kitty, Pumpkin. Nope, actually I'm going to try. I got apple paste. Putting on this piece of cracker that I got a bunch of peanut butter on. So this is just labeled as cracker. The apple paste, of course, I got a lot under it, but that did cover up the peanut butter somewhat, but it also made it less thirst provoking. And I think the peach marmalade goes better with the peanut butter. But I'm going to save the rest of this peanut butter for, as I said, I'm pushing it down to the bottom. And then I'll just roll the top of this. Yeah, put a clip on it. Of course, I'll do a much better job than that, but that's just to give you an idea what I'm going to do. Just save that peanut butter for next week. And I still have more. I have another one of these apple paste. I have another one of these peach marmalades. But as you can tell by the way these things look, they're very hard to open. But I'm okay with that because this is good stuff. Since I have 2 packs of these crackers, I'm going to save this for a later time. The only item that I will not eat out of this ration is this pork pate. I will pass it on to someone else. So here is the other peach marmalade. This is a cereal bar. I will open this next Sunday. There's 2 additional coffees, 2 additional creamers, 2 additional sugars. The salt and pepper I did not use. Got 2 packets of them. This is the cocoa mix. I will mix that up next week. There's a small amount of powder in here. It's not quite up to this line of text here in this packet, but I will drink that next time. It doesn't say how much water to use, so it just says add water. So I'll probably use about as much as I did with the coffee. None of this is for Kitty's pumpkin. None of this is for Kitty's. She was on top of my Instant Pot box, kind of looking down towards my table and sniffing. She doesn't do that very often during my reviews, unless there's something that actually interests her. The chili might have interested her. But because of the ingredients, I don't want her to have it. I don't give her any human food. She only gets cat food, but in an emergency, if I have to, I will give her a can or part of a can of tuna in water, or a can of, or part of a can of chicken, or if I have just the plain tuna or the plain chicken in a pouch, I'll give her some of that. But I do have wet cat food in her preps. She gets dry all the time, but the wet cat food stores longer. I don't have as much as I would like, but I'm only keeping a small amount of it on hand right now. But some of my cans of tuna and some of my cans of just plain chicken, I will share with her. If I run out of her other food. So I thought I'd let you know why I said what I said about, I don't have anything here for the kitty. Ah, crap. Dang it. I dropped my spork, but good thing I had that paper towel. I'm trying to get the rest of this marmalade out of here as much as I can. I'm going to call that good enough. And I have a Walgreens bag serving as a trash bag. I got the rest of the marmalade and some of the apple paste. The apple paste doesn't spread around very well, but I don't care. You're just a talker, aren't you, Pumpkin? Some cats can be real talkers. And she is one of them. I think she likes to meow just to hear herself. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. I'm going to take the rest of this apple paste and put it on this last piece of cracker. That goes in the trash bag. The other half of my biscuits that I opened up tonight will go into a Ziploc bag. I'll probably just put both of these in the same bag. So that'll help keep them fresh for next week. And as I said earlier, my grape body armor electrolyte drink mix, I have not tried it yet. I think I will mix that up next Sunday because I want to try it. The tropical punch and the kiwi strawberry, I drank those at camp, and those are good. Of course, I like the lemon lime one as well, and I tried one of the white peach liquid IVs, and that was pretty good. My oldest sister likes that flavor. I don't know if she brought any with her, or she's used it before, or she just took one of mine, because I told him, if you need electrolytes, I got the drink mixes. You can have some. I think a few got used. And because we had enough sunshine, especially on 2 of the days, one of my sisters brought her sun tea jar. And a couple of smaller pitchers. So the jar with the tea bags and water in it would get put outside, be around 10 in the morning, and then about 2, like before, somewhere in between 2 and 3 in the afternoon, it would get brought in, and then the tea would be poured from the jar into 2 of the pitchers, and then any that could not go into pitchers, she would say, you want some, you can take some to get it out of the jar so she can wash the jar. So, yep. Just put some ice in my travel mug to help cool it down some more. And that worked. Plus we had some sodas and water, but the camp has a really good well, and the water goes through a filter to get rid of possible impurities, but leave the mineral alone. So all of the faucets and the campsite spigots are all sourced from that same well. So we would just put ice in our, either in a bottle or travel mug or cup, and then just get water from the spigot or the faucet. And that water tastes better than Des Moines water. And the Des Moines water is a lot harder than the well water at Lake Icaria. My mom has a faucet filter in her kitchen faucet in her apartment. And my brother recently changed out the filter for her. I think a couple months ago. I'm seriously thinking about getting something like that to get rid of the crap in the city water here. But I would need a small unit that does not take up a whole lot of space, because I don't have much for counter space here. It's a bar top counter, but I have items stored on the other side of it and underneath it, because I just don't have a whole lot of storage. So I am trying to use up as much space as I can without making this place look like a hoarder's nest. But I saw a small handheld unit on another channel from a company called Itahil. And it has a tube that goes into the source, and then it has the pump itself, and then it has a tube to go into your clean water container. It's basically a rechargeable pump filter. And it's about the size of a full pack of the Without the tubes, it's about the size of a full pack of these biscuits. And you can buy replacement filters for it. It's meant for camping or keeping in an RV, or you can use it as a daily user. But I want something that can get rid of nitrates should the treatment plant here in the city fail. Because I don't want another repeat of 1993. And 93 was when a good share of Iowa got flooded in June after a huge snow melt followed by much higher than normal spring rain, and rivers and some lakes just couldn't handle it. And we had such a major flood that it took out the water treatment plant, it took out the sewage treatment plant, not only for Des Moines, but in quite a number of locations in this state, and we lost our power. Much of the city and other parts of the state had no power for nearly a month. Some areas got it back sooner, but I'd spent a couple weeks with one of my sisters who was living alone at the time, and I babysat her then 6-month-old son while she went to her workplace, not to do her regular job, but it was all hands on deck trying to clean up the building. And so she needed a babysitter. So she picked me up, and an hour after she picked me up, and we crossed one of the river bridges through the area of the city that's known as the East Village. Those bridges were all underwater. So I got out of there pretty much in the nick of time. And I learned some lessons then, but I didn't start applying them until pretty much the 2015-16 when I decided to get more serious about prepping. And after I moved here, then I just went full on prepper. So I am so much better able to handle something like that again. And the more people that get themselves ready for disasters, then the less people have to rely on delayed or non-existent government assistance, because sometimes FEMA can be a real hot mess. Two and 3 years ago, towns that got hit by really bad tornadoes, they are just now getting financial assistance for property buyouts covering the costs of repairs and rebuilding. And a Facebook friend is just now getting help with dealing with flooding at her property. So the items I do not use, like like I said, the tissues, the utensil set, the wet wipes, the stove kit and water purification tablets. They will become part of my preps, just like the ration heaters. And it provided two of these, and these are branded with the Homipsa name. Yeah, the J in Spanish is pronounced like an H, so Homipsa. They got thick elements about, like the Hot Hands body warmers. Yeah, they're thick like that. And these are wide enough to put one of these pouches in. But because I'm at home, I don't need to use these. So these will get added to my preps. And one thing that would help these are those foam bags from the Chinese rations that I've reviewed. That helps retain some of the heat inside. Oh, I just grabbed this info sheet. This is specific to menu 3. And it's got information in English, Polish, Ukrainian. It's got all this other stuff on there that I don't need to keep. Some rations you don't get info like that, some you do, and sometimes those sheets can have info for all of the menus in the lineup. For instance, if you got an Australian CR1M or a PR1M, you will get that sheet that has stuff for all of the menus. I'm definitely pleased with this. The seller I got these off of, he gave me a good deal on the pair of these, both the menu threes, but because of a shipping issue and stuff that went on that he had to deal with, he threw in that French RCIR. Or no, I got something else with this. I think I got the RCIR with the Dutch ration. But I got something in addition to these Ukrainian rations. Have to see the unboxing when go back to that video when I opened this package up and pulled these big bags out. It's not easy to get a hold of these if they're not in the US, but if someone is able to import them without a thief getting a hold of it, so I thought it was so awesome that I was able to get a hold of these and then share one. So Mike Kreischer has the other one. I'm not sure if he's reviewed it yet. I would have to go on his channel to look. I didn't try to watch any videos while I was at camp. I managed to upload a couple of shorts and I posted pictures. Getting signal out there is spotty at best. I can't get squat inside the cabin. I took my hotspot, but because US Cellular merged with T-Mobile, and now my US Cellular account is pretty much dead, and my balance, I paid 2 months ahead last time I made a payment. So that carried over to T-Mobile, but I have to wait till I can get a new hotspot because I cannot use the one I have. I won't be able to put a T-Mobile SIM card in that hotspot that was programmed for US Cellular. So, because I really will not need to have that kind of access until September, because I take pictures and I shoot video of the performances at the powwow when I got a free moment. Or someone asks for some video of a particular thing, then I'll do it. And I will post it. If it's short enough, I can post it in our Messenger group chat or on our committee page. But if it ends up being longer, then I go ahead and upload it to YouTube, and then I post a link to that video. I did that last year and it worked. And then I tell the committee members who are doing the publicity, use my pictures and my videos. And so that becomes part of our group media archive. So those are up on the website. I haven't looked at the website lately since I did a check of an update to it just to make sure that it was working the way it had intended, but because I've been focusing on the lake trip, I really haven't looked at the powwow website yet. But I get stuff put up there. So whoever does the website, putting stuff up there, then they take what I and others contribute as far as pictures and video, will put it up there. So I will do as much of that as I can. And at the charity event later this month, I'll grab a few pictures. I heard a lot of music at the art festival at times that I wanted to shoot some videos, so I did not record. I got a clip of one of our guys playing his flute, or playing his drum and singing a song, so I got that little clip up on Facebook. And I put it up on YouTube. It was a short. He got interrupted, or he was about to get interrupted, so I just cut it off. But there's enough of it there for a taste. And of course I put up another short. It's horizontal, not actual short form, recognized as a short by YouTube, so it doesn't go in the shorts feed. It's just in my regular video library as a teaser, because that box was delivered earlier this afternoon. Someone let the FedEx driver in. Yep, I paid the least amount that eBay had for that box of halal MREs, and it happened to be the freshest date. So I thought, I'm just going to put up a teaser. So that's already getting some looks. I will do an actual unboxing later on. I'm not sure when, but I will do that as a standalone video. But I just felt like tossing up a teaser. Yep, packed earlier this year. So talk about very fresh when it comes to U.S. rations. And I went and looked on the eBay listing. I got this case off eBay. And all good menus. It'll be the freshest set of rations I've opened up so far. I looked at C-cars, but I will eventually get those. But I'm not going to buy a whole case of them just for repeats of the 3 menus. Although I could offer them as trades. Or maybe even sell them in the Ration group on Facebook. I haven't decided yet, but I got my eye on a full case of La Brayute kosher rations. In fact, the seller I got these halal MREs from has those La Brayute rations. La Brayute replaced My Own Meals a few years ago. I reviewed a few of the menus. Like My Own Meals accessory pack, everything is pretty much the same. It's only the entree that changes. Maybe a snack or two might change. but the quality of the stuff in the snack accessory bag, for the most part, is better than mild meals. But I might get a case of those because I've never had a full case of them. I had a case of, or no, I had a case of mild meals I got from CT, but there was not a whole lot of variety. There were one entree there were 4 of, another couple of them there were 3 of. So not a lot of entree variety, but the La Brioute, I'm hoping that I get a greater menu variety. So I might get one of those cases later on. But I'll still be on the hunt for other rations to kind of intersperse between the halal and any other single meal rations I get. But this halal case is my one ration buy for this month. Of course, it was actually late July when I ordered them. In fact, I think I ordered them Thursday night after I got home from the lake, and they were delivered today, so not bad for shipping. If I do have repeats, if I do get a La Brioute case, if I have repeats, I might offer some of those up in trade, or I might sell them as an individual ration. I'm not sure yet. But then again, I might keep an extra just for my own enjoyment. Well, we'll have to see what I'm able to get a hold of. I have a 2019 cheese tortellini that I'm going to get into. I may do that. Of course, next Sunday will be the second half of this review of this Ukrainian ration. The Sunday after that, I might go after that cheese tortellini. See how that 2019 one held up. I'm definitely interested in checking that out. I've had a newer one, but it's been a while since I had a 2019. So that'll be interesting to try out. I might also look for some older U.S. rations. I may never get another corned beef like the one I had the Sunday before I left. The only thing I couldn't consume out of that ration was the coffee. It was a red packet Taster Choice. It had gone to crap. The coffee creamer had gone to crap. So I substituted one of my 3-in-1 coffees. Everything else I was able to eat and actually enjoy. And that one was a treat. So next month I will be on the ration hunt again. I probably won't spend a whole bunch. I don't think I'm going to buy another full case. I think I'm just going to buy some single meals or maybe a 24-hour ration. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what is available that is already here in the U.S. I don't have to worry about getting raided. What you squeaking about, Pumpkin? Move this over because Pumpkin is trying to make an appearance. What you want, Pumpkin? Oh, you want to show us your tail? I slid that over a little more as far as I can go. Pumpkin! They want to see the kitty, Pumpkin. My viewers want to see the kitty. They want to see the torty girl. Pumpkin. They want to see the torty girl. Not just the tail tip. Pumpkin. The pretty little torty girl. She likes to walk under my chair when I'm sitting here. Don't you, Pumpkin? Is that what you like to do? Silly little girl. Silly little girl. She'll rub on anything. Won't you, Pumpkin? You'd rub on a fart if you could, wouldn't you, Pumpkin? Is that right? Is that right, Pumpkin? And of course she'll run that Katie motor. Ask her if she charges off of one of my power stations to keep running that Katie motor. I'm teasing her with one of her toys. Now what you gonna do, Pumpkin? Now what you gonna do? She'll think about playing with it and then she'll walk away from it. That's just how she is. Isn't that right, Pumpkin? You just being a cat? You just being a cat? A silly little cat? Isn't that right, Pumpkin? Now I'll move this back. Even though there's nothing left by my drinks. And she'll go off doing something somewhere else, won't you, Pumpkin? But I wouldn't have it any other way. I think I like that cat a little too much. I'm putting my pasta bolognese back in the ration bag. I'm going to sort out of here what I'm going to stash. Those items, like I said, I'm not going to use. I collect as much of those non-food items as I can when I get them. That way, should I have the need for them, I have them, especially the plastic utensils. And a stove kit is in a nice Ziploc bag. I will use that particular bag, for storing additional fuel tablets that I get, because it will already smell like them. I will need to find another container for things like that, because I'm using an ammo can, and that one is pretty much maxed out. I got those flat stove plates that can be folded into shape. I got the fuel tablets. I got matches in there. That thing is pretty much maxed out. I'm finding other places to put some of the matches, like the matches out of British rations and the Russian rations that are in soft packs. And even some of the box matches, I got one of those stashed elsewhere. That container, that can that my German round bread slices are in, that is now fire kit. I put some fat wood in there. I put some birch bark in there that I have collected myself from the front yard where the bark falls off the trees. I put a box of the box of matches I got from the French ration, that last RCIR I reviewed. And there is some kind of partially shredded inner bark from a tree that had landed in one of my planters, my pots on my deck. It actually landed on the shelf that some of my pots are on. So I just added that to that can. I let it air dry for quite some time before I did that, but I kept it out of Pumpkin's reach so she couldn't go after it. So that fire kit is going to be part of my 1500 prize pack, along with a XMRE pizza MRE, which I added a few things to. And I taped it closed. So I will not reveal the additions that I put in there. That'll be a surprise to the recipient. But that pizza MRE had a pepperoni pizza slice in it. And because I do not eat the pork pepperoni, obviously I'm not going to eat that one. So I decided I'm going to give that one away. And I thought, why not throw a few things in there with it, just to add a little something extra to it. So that's what I did. But I want to find a box that I can fit a certain item that I want to include in the prize pack. So I will take some time I'll probably go to a different post office than the one I normally use when I go to mail packages. Because that one, being a bigger post office, it's in a standalone building, I should be able to find the size and shape of box I'm looking for. Because I have other items that I want to throw into that box as part of the prize pack. So, like my previous giveaways, I will include survival items, like the fire kit I put together, but it will have more ration related stuff in there this time. So I'm slowly working on that as I can. I lost some subscribers. I think someone decided to take a few of mine away. I've gotten one back. I don't know what the deal is. I hope that the subscriber loss is just bots being taken out. You know how much I can't stand bot accounts. Haven't seen too many of those in live chats recently, but occasionally they'll pop up. I think late June, early July, I reported one that was a fake bot account claiming that every viewer won the giveaway prize, when that was actually not the case, because the channel that put up that giveaway does it a completely different way. So I reported that to their Facebook page, or in their Facebook group, because that channel has a presence on Facebook. I sent a picture of the YouTube URL. So I reported that channel to YouTube, that faker, but the legit channel owner got to see that, so they could take action and file an impersonation claim. So that faker got taken down. So that's one less scammer out there. So when I do my giveaway, I will have specific rules. I will have a specific means on how to contact me. You know, after I decide the winner, or if I have Pumpkin pick the winner. You know, the winner will have to follow a specific method to contact me. And if the viewers see anything other, report it. Because I will not go for that crap. And neither should you. So, it may take me longer to get up to 1,500, but I will get there eventually. And I should have my prize pack all put together by then. I think for tonight, I'm going to go ahead and call this one done. And I will save the rest of this peanut butter for next week. I will bag up the remaining biscuits that I opened up tonight. And I'll save that third bag of biscuits for a future time. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me on this trip to Ukraine via Spain and Poland. Comipsa of Spain provided the majority of the components. The ration was assembled in Poland and then shipped off to Ukraine. And somehow a few of them made it to the States. Again, I want to thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. So next Sunday, part 2 of this 2023 Ukrainian 24-hour ration packed in Poland. And I will get the thumbnail and the title corrected after I close out the stream, because I had issues with the start earlier with the YouTube app closing out every time I tried to put the thumbnail and the title in. Anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.